totally lighter note, we're going to talk about dogs. Apparently, cuddles and a healthy dose of love are the only ingredients needed to raise a well-behaved dog. A new study shows that dog owners should never punish their dogs and instead only use positive training methods. Experts from the University of Bristol found that the use of aversive techniques damage the relationship between pet and owner and also increase the dog's chances of becoming anxious or depressed. But is this the right way to raise a man's best friend and a woman's best friend? Joining me now to give us his expert advice is a friend of the programme, dog trainer Rob Alleyne. Well, so I read this morning as a serial dog owner, and I'm the father of sons who are serial dog owners as well, and I just kind of drooped in disbelief. Am I wrong?
Listen, there are so many things that you and I, I'm sure, would absolutely agree on in theory. And absolutely in theory, wouldn't it be wonderful if we could raise our children, raise our pets, just by giving them nothing but love and affection? We've seen how well that's worked with our children in the last generation. They've all gone feral. It just hasn't worked out. Because the problem is, a reward only works for as long as you want that reward more than anything else.
Yes.
As soon as you want something else, it then doesn't work. And we've seen this catastrophe in the same period happen with our children. It's also happened with our dogs.
Yeah.
The numbers of dogs going into rescue now are at unprecedented levels. The average age of a dog now finding itself in rescue is apparently only 8 months. And isn't it interesting that it's as they start to hit puberty, they end up in rescue? Because
I didn't know that.
Like
direct echo of, as it were, human development and canine. How extraordinary.
Absolutely.
But when we're we've recently taken delivery of a new rescue dog, Lily, absolutely gorgeous, boxer Labrador cross. It came from ghastly circumstances in Greece. A friend of ours runs a charity that does it. And so we had to train Lily pretty well from the word go. And we had a pamphlet from the charity that said, you be absolutely firm, you do the reward thing, but if something goes wrong, you don't hit them, but you are absolutely firm. It's not, oh, look, sit down, Lily. Can we try and negotiate your behaviour? I mean, that is just tosh, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, with that Bristol University report, what they did was they compared positive reinforcement with really very draconian forms of aversion and punishment. And of course, what they found was, not surprisingly, the dogs preferred the reward. So that what they then did was throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, okay, well, then all punishment is bad. And that wasn't the case at all. And in fact, many surveys, many research articles of research have shown that actually, if you use a balance of positive reinforcement and minimal levels of aversion, the dog actually becomes less stressed and learns more quickly. So we've just gone too far the other way. And there's a thing I put on social media not very long ago where I said, why is it I don't know a single genuinely, supposedly positive-only trainer who has what I would consider to be a well-behaved dog? Not one, and I know hundreds. And it's because in reality, the dog will frequently choose something else as a reward. It says, I know you've got that piece of chicken, you eat it. I'd rather go and chase the squirrel. I'd rather have fresh sheep or squirrel. And what do you do then? Because you have no competing reward. If you've got a dog with a very high prey drive that, for example, wants to kill sheep, what reward could you offer it other than another sheep?
Yeah.
Don't run over there. Look, I've got one here.
Yeah.
But that's where that type of training starts to fall down. So I love the theory of it, and I consider myself a reward-based trainer. But in reality, there's a reason why dogs are getting worse. Attacks on people, we've never had so many. Yeah. And it's because the dogs are out of control, not because they're bad dogs, but because they've had no education. They don't understand that there are consequences to making the wrong choices. And as long as we continue with that, it's just going to get worse.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned farmers there as well, because several times in the programme we've talked about the dangers of human beings not looking after their dogs when they're out in the countryside, because to a farmer it's not a cuddly creature, it's their livelihood. I think your bell's just gone. It must be either I'll tie it up or... I will leave you, Rob Alleyne, with the other profound thought of the day, and that is never try and train a cat. It is undoable at all. No, cats will always do what they want to do, and I love them. Rob Alleyne, always a great pleasure. Thank you for finding time for us this Sunday afternoon. You have a great afternoon yourself. The great